Alright, what's going on everybody? So in this video I'm going to drill and tap the valve covers on the 1JZ for AN fittings for the catch can. So I'm going to show you all the parts that you need and how to do it. And this process can also apply to other engines. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the parts that you need. Alright, so you're going to need some -10 AN hose. I got that right off eBay. It also came with these fittings there. So that's just some miscellaneous 90 degrees straight fittings. And then these are the fittings that you're going to need for the valve covers. So I got the 90 degree fittings so that the hose will go directly along the valve cover. And then this is the tap that you're going to need. 1/2 inch -14 MPT tap. So this fitting here is a -10 on one side and a 1/2 inch NPT on the other side. Alright, so on this motor we have this elbow here that we're going to have to remove. That was OEM. And then on the other side we have this hole here that we're going to have to remove the bushing from. This hole here is the exact size that we need for the NPT fitting, so we don't have to drill that out. However, on this side we will have to drill this side with a bit to make it fit the -10 fitting. You're also going to want to make sure you take this off of your car. Because we do have to do drilling and tapping, there's going to be metal shavings, and you definitely do not want that getting into your valve train. Especially it's right above the cams. So we don't want any metal shavings in there. So I've already undone all the bolts. So we're going to pull those valve covers off and put them on the table. Alright, so here is the underside of the valve covers. You can see they look a little different. That's just because I removed the baffling on this one. So in your valve covers, especially on the 1JZ, you're going to have baffling under there. So we're going to have to remove those so that we can get all of the metal shavings out from the valve covers. So in this, it's just some Allen bolts all along the side, and then it just comes right out. Okay, for this valve cover, just with this inlet here, we're going to have to push out this rubber grommet, and it's pretty hard. It's almost like a plastic, so we're just going to use a screwdriver and push it out. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and remove this L-shaped fitting. Alright, so I already showed you this tap that you need. So you need the 1/2 inch -14 NPT. But what I didn't show you was what size drill bit you needed. And I'll show you right now. You need the 45 by 64 bit. And after all the research that I did, it actually tells you right here on the end of the tapper. So it actually tells you what bit right there at the bottom that you need. Alright, so this is the driver's side valve cover, and we're going to go ahead and tap this fitting. So you want to make sure you put some oil on your tap here, and now we can go ahead and get started. You just definitely want to make sure that you're straight when you get started. Alright, as you can see there, we've got some pretty nice looking threads. So I did get this to thread all the way in there. Hopefully you can see it does taper back and it gets bigger. And you will need to send this all the way down to the top. So just keep that in mind. So now this 1/2 inch MPT thread threads right in there. So there we go. Spin it all the way down. Just point it wherever you want to. I did torque this down a couple times so that it would get tight where I wanted it to point. So you just have to play with that. So this one is done. I want to show you how many shavings are on the inside. Alright, and this is why you don't want to do this to the valve cover while it is on the car. There's just no way you're going to be able to keep all these shavings from getting into the valve train, no matter how hard you try. You'll miss one. So you can see how many there are in there, and that's after I've cleaned it a few times. Alright, so now we need to go ahead and drill out the hole on the passenger side valve cover to fit the AN fitting. So I've got the drill bit, I've got it oiled up, and time to go ahead and try and drill it out. Alright, so the hole is drilled. You can see all the metal shavings that left. So now the next thing to do is go ahead and get those threads tapped in there. Alright, so this passenger side is done. So you can see there it's pretty much all the way in. When I got done, I backed it off a little bit. But yeah, you can see I had to go all the way in there, and so yeah, it's threaded. Alright, so both valve covers have been cleaned out with some water and the air gun to get all of the little pieces of metal out. I also went around the holes that we made and cleaned off any burrs or any pieces of metal that could possibly flake off. So now we need to go ahead and install the baffles back into the top of the valve covers. Alright, so the OEM baffles have been installed. So now it's time to go ahead and put some paint on these. I've got the Scotch-Brite pad, so that's going to clean off any surface rust and anything else that needs to be cleaned to get it ready for paint. So yeah, I will see you when they're all painted. Alright, and there they are, all painted up. Yeah, it came out really good. So now it's time to go ahead and we can install the fittings, get them pointed in the right direction, and then I can show you what the AN lines are going to look like. Alright, so I put a little bit of thread tape on there just because this will help tighten it up in the direction that I want a little bit better in case it's loose, and then I'll still have a good seal. Alright, so I got both the valve covers sitting back on the motor with the AN fittings in place. Looks pretty good. So now I will give you a brief overview of the AN fittings that will connect to that. Alright, so many of you probably already understand how AN fittings work, but basically you've got two pieces here. This would be the top half. This is going to be the bottom half that's going to expand this tube inside of this top piece. So I took off the duct tape that was used to wrap it whenever they cut it. You want to make sure that you put some kind of tape over it so that it keeps the fraying of the stainless to a minimal. So you're going to put this end here on the top of this. So you're going to slide it over, and it can be pretty difficult. Alright, so after a few tries I did finally get it the fitting on there. It was pretty tough. I've done this once before and it wasn't that hard, but yeah, so I basically just got a wrench over here and kind of slid it on there, and I put pressure on the wrench while spinning that fitting, and it slowly worked its way up on the threads. So now we need to go ahead and get this end slid into here, and then the further we thread this in there, this part here is going to expand that rubber hose, and that's going to that is what is going to give it that tight seal, no leaks. Alright, so there it is finished. Yeah, it took a little bit of time, probably 10 minutes, but I'm definitely no pro. And yeah, it looks good, really nice. If you can get by without scratching those fittings, then kudos to you, but more than likely you're probably going to need some black touch-up paint or something. But yeah, let's see what it looks like on the motor. Alright, well here it is on the motor. I just got this one AN fitting side on because the kit that I bought, the 10 AN kit with fittings, it came with like a 12-foot length. So I don't know where I'm going to put my catch can yet in the car, so I'm just going to do one fitting for now and then do the other fitting when I know the length that I need. But yeah, here's the look. So yeah, it's gonna look pretty sweet. Just got that side routed there, but yeah, this side will have one coming back, and they'll both go to a catch can, and it will let the crankcase vent out as well as catching the oil. So yeah, so thanks for watching this video. It's awesome we could work all the way through this this project here, but the motor is not quite done yet. I've got a few other things I need to do to it, and hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you like something, and maybe you'll be able to do this to your own valve covers. See ya.